Oscar Bevis for Sandgate TV. I'm joined by Riley from Rugby Portobello here at day one of the Sandgate tournament. 2 years ago, Riley, I was just talking about this off camera to you. I remember it was just days after the Grenfell Tower tragedy that you brought a team here, people who had relatives and family members affected, and yeah, it was sort of a sad and moving day. And I remember the presentation at the end. You just sort of want to enlighten us how on that day 2 years ago, the football sort of managed to take the minds off of the players. And
I remember it really well because also on that day I think it was around about 32 degrees. It was in the middle of Ramadan. One of our coaches on that particular day is a Muslim coach, so he couldn't drink or eat during the day, and I remember going into the Sandgate clubhouse and just trying to fan the players down. It was so hot. But obviously, particularly what was important about that day is that it was an opportunity for us to get the children out of the area, because on that week, on I think it was the Tuesday, obviously that's when the tragedy at Grenfell happened. A lot of the teams that we were going to bring to Sandgate over the weekend, we couldn't field the team because their relatives and their parents were caught up in the whole aftermath of Grenfell. But gladly we were able to bring out the under-10s at the time, just to get them out of the area, because it was obviously life stood still for us in W11 for around about 4 or 5 days. The children didn't really go to school that much. It was everywhere, and we became the focus of the whole country. Coming to the tournament, I think it was a welcome relief for the children and also for the parents, and to take our minds off it. And what was great was, Sandgate at the time recognised this, and obviously when we came to collect our medals at the end of the day, they made us go up on stage and they made a big thing of the children and the parents, still coming out, still taking part in the tournament, even though what's just happened at Grenfell. So, I think I emailed the club on the Monday just to thank them really, and that, because that kind of really meant a lot to us. Sometimes you go to tournaments and you don't really have that much contact with those that organise it, but certainly on that day, Sandgate made it a really good and positive experience for the children and parents, and we really appreciate that. And that's why we've always thought it was a good tournament anyway, but that's always why we're going to always support Sandgate as well.
You were telling me about the Rugby Portobello Trust and how you guys were some of the first responders in the tragedy, just sort of the community and charity around youth football and community and charity in general.
Yes.
How that can help communities, for example. So even if it's not on the same scale, but how youth football's helping kids around here and how football and charity's helping guys around your area.
Yeah, I mean, it plays a big part, to be honest with you, and even though what had happened, we still continued to run the training sessions for the children and the tournaments like Sandgate at the time, and just to keep, helping the children and the parents really, and that, to give them some focus and to keep routine really. That's probably the best way to describe it, is routine. Children always need a routine in their life, whether it be their school, whether it be their local football club. And we've continued to do that, and we've probably expanded as much as we can, although we are in a London football club and we don't really have the space and sometimes the resources of some of the big clubs that we play against when we come up to these kind of areas. But what we have got is a really good bunch of coaches and parents, and the children have been fantastic. So it was important to us straight after the tragedies to keep the football club going and making sure that the kids continued that their good experience with us really.
And just finally, how are things sort of 2 years on?
I think that the whole area, it was yesterday was the second anniversary, so there was the march through from Grenfell through the W11 area, and I think things are getting back to normal now for the majority of the community. Certainly the children have been so resilient. I work in the school next door to Grenfell, which is Kensington Aldridge Academy, and they just get on with their school life and their sports. They're remarkable, to be fair.
Which, as I was saying to you, as I didn't realise, the school is genuinely next to the tower. It's
Yeah,
not nearby,
yeah.
It is literally.
Yep, so you've got the Kids and Aldridge Academy, where we train. It's a venue for us to train, and RPT, which is Rugby Portobello Trust, is about 100 yards away from the tower. So we're literally right next door, and the kids, you know, have got on with it, and they continue their football, and the whole community, I feel like, have come together and have shown good solidarity, you know, in dealing with the crisis. Of course, the inquest is still going on, and you know, the outcome of that, you know, I'm sure that the survivors and those that you know, obviously passed away, you know, would want, you know, an outcome at some stage in the near future. But for the rest of the community, you know, we've gone forward now, and hopefully we will continue to heal, you know, and keep going forward.
Okay, well, Riley, thank you for that, and thank you for turning up to the tournament as always. Riley, thank you very much.
Lovely.